And we are live. Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. Hope you all had a good Wednesday. I did. I had a good one personally. I was 1 plus 1.50 units, 1.5 exactly. That Oakland money line win. I started off 2-0 with the Marlins at plus money, and then Oakland at like plus 240. So I got off to such a nice start. We're here Thursday. Got the commish with us. Only 8 games to go through. I actually only have 4 bets today, but there's a couple that I really like. So yeah, let's run the intro and get it started.
Go Seattle Mariners.
Welcome to the source. The source. Source. Hey, get the source.
All right, so like I said, Thursday, not the best MLB day. Actually, I got rinsed last Thursday. I was like, guys, let's take it light, and I think I went like 0-5 or 1-5 or something. Yeah, let's take it light, guys. Not really a big deal. Got smoked. So hopefully I have some better luck today. Yes, thank you for the birthday wishes. It is. I am 35 today. So I appreciated everyone in the comments.
Oh, it's happy birthday, dude. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I had the that's why I'm kind of tired. I had the birthday dinner with the family and my brother and his wife and the girlfriend and all that, and it was nice. Had a good time. It's even better when I got home to some scores that were favorable to my bets. But all right, let's talk some baseball. We're starting off with Braves at Pirates. Toast, I got a text this morning from someone in the chat saying Toast is going to be very passionate about a Tigers bet today. And I said, I figured he'd talk to you. And he was, no, I just have a feeling. I swear, that's what someone said to me in a text. And I was like, oh, all right, well, we'll see. So let's get a poll started. Is he right?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, there's no way I'm playing Minnesota during the day at minus 160.
Well, no, we're Braves Pirates first.
I know, but you asked about Minnesota.
Oh,
or Detroit, I thought.
No. Oh, did I say Tigers? I meant Pirates. I'm sorry.
Oh,
he said you're going to be very passionate about a Pirates bet.
No. I have a half unit play on the same thing that I've played every game in this series. Over 10 at a half unit at minus 107. These teams continue just to score a shit ton of runs against each other. There's no reason for me to stop here now. I didn't put a lot of time into this. I won't lie to you guys, but this continues to hit over and over again in this series, so I'm going to continue to do it. Bryce Elder is a house of cards waiting to fall. We've seen it over his last couple starts. I'm sure Sauce will go into that a little bit more, but Bailey Falter isn't the guy I trust either. There's a reason he's not with Philadelphia right now. Ballpark Pal has this at 5 runs plus each. So, and they're one of those sites that I really like to trust on top of that with these simulations. So I'll take my chances. It's a half a unit play with these teams that continue just to score runs against each other.
Yeah, I can see the over. Personally, I'm putting Atlanta money line, pairing it with Tampa for a money line parlay. That's at plus 125. I put down 2 of these parlays, these little 2-team parlays. One hit. I hit my Dodgers Blue Jays one. That was plus 180 too, so that was nice. Twins screwed me on the other one. The reason I like the Braves to win, I mean, because it's the Braves against the Pirates, but Bryce Elder's not exactly a guy I want to be betting on right now. He hit a wall at the end of May, and I'm pretty sure both these guys on the show with me were pointing at his expected numbers back then and saying this was coming. Pretty sure they both called this. But since June 1st, he's got a 5.07 ERA. His FIP and expected FIP both up at 5 or higher. But here's some good news for Bryce Elder. A lot of his struggles have come against left-handed bats since June 1st. So during this struggle time, he's got a 106 whip and a 413 expected FIP against righties. Not exactly elite, like he's shutting righties down, but that's serviceable. Against lefty, those numbers jump. Pirates don't exactly have a lefty-heavy lineup. I think there's going to be 3, maybe 4. And if you look at Bryce Elder's game log since June 1st, you'll see him getting lit up a lot, but you'll notice back-to-back games against the Brewers where he pitched pretty well. They get a game score of like 58 and 66 in those 2 games. Brewers have a similar lineup to the Pirates, 3 or 4 lefties in it. So I actually think we can count on Bryce Elder to pitch somewhat well. Bailey Falter on the other side, I don't have much faith in. I don't see any reason to take a shot with Pittsburgh. I know that they've been competitive in this series, and I know that they look like they can win every single game, but I think I think Bailey Falter gets rocked. So Braves do have a couple issues in the bullpen today, but you know what? The Pirates bullpen isn't exactly rested either. So
Yeah.
so I like the Braves. I'm pairing it with Tampa, and I'll explain why I'm on Tampa when we get there. Kamish?
Yeah, I don't have anything official in this game. I think the Braves win. I'm a big fan of when a really good baseball team has one of their worst pitchers on the bump, it's usually a good time to bet on them because I think everybody's like, oh, Yanni Chirinos, they're not going to win today. Bryce Elder, they're not going to win today. I mean, they're still better. I think when you look at the sports book, they had the starting pitchers listed. There's so much more to a baseball game than just the starting pitchers. Base running, the defense, the the guys with the bats in their hand, the bullpen, all that. So I think the Braves are better across the board. Even if you don't like Bryce Elder, I think he's at least competitive to where Bailey Falter is at this point. So I think the Braves make sense. Throw them in a money line parlay like you did, Sauce, or something like that. But I'm not going to mess around with the total or anything like that. The wind is blowing out, so I think if you are playing the total, I think the over 10 makes sense, like Toast said. But I'm not on it personally.
All right, I put Braves or pass. So yeah. Let's see what the comments. Oh, okay, community's heavy on the Braves as expected, though. Actually, a lot of votes coming in on the over as well. Waiting for the poll to load here. Come on now, show me the results.
Also for the chat, I can see Toasty at over 35 minus 115. You would lose that bet. I don't turn 35 until October 28th.
Yeah, Toast is 2 months younger than me. So according to the community, 62% of our viewers betting the Braves, 22% betting the over. So a lot of people on the over with Toast here, and Kamish also mentioned he would lean over as well. Just 11% Pirates, 3% under. Let's move on to game number 2. We have 2 early afternoon games. This is the other one, Houston at Baltimore, and let's get a poll running. I honestly thought last night that the Astros were blowing the game when the Orioles loaded the bases, or I forget exactly what happened, but I had Baltimore in the first game. They lost on the grand slam in the 9th, and then the Orioles loaded the bases, and I was like, it's happening again, but thank God Houston got out of that. I'm on the O's here. Orioles,
thank God.
Whew. Definitely on the Orioles. Actually, I usually don't give out my top bet on the show, but this is my top bet today. Is Orioles money line.
You can copy and paste that, baby.
You're on Orioles too? All right, cool.
Oh, absolutely.
What's that?
All of us on the O's.
Oh, O's across the board. Okay. Wow, we got a sweep nice and early here on this Thursday morning. I actually saw some people in the comments before the show started saying Orioles was there. So it seems like we're all on the O's. Some of the notes I have written down, the way Houston's been scoring runs, it makes it tough to have some faith in Dean Kramer here. He did pitch well against the Mets in his last home start, but before that, the 2 before that were bad. Got rocked by the Yankees and Dodgers. But similar to Bryce Elder, Dean Kramer has very similar looking righty-lefty splits as Bryce Elder. He's actually been solid against righties. Since June 1st. I didn't actually write the numbers down, but he's got really similar looking ones to Elder. He's actually got some solid looking numbers, Kramer against right-handed bats. The Astros lineup is so righty heavy. You're going to have 7 starting righties in their lineup today. Kyle Tucker and Jordan Alvarez are the only 2 lefties. I know that's 2 serious.
They did put Singleton in the lineup as well.
So there's a third lefty?
He's back.
Yeah.
So there's a third lefty. Okay, so there's a third lefty, but still.
Singleton is a story in himself. He's like 50, still in the league. Lucky for him that he's in the lineup.
Well, still, I like the spot for Kramer pitching against a lineup full of righties. You got the Orioles facing the sweep here. Or is this the last game of the series? It is, right? Yeah, because tomorrow's Friday. So, and you guys all know how I feel about Hunter Brown. I don't know why I don't like this kid. I don't trust him. I know actually, I don't know why. I think he screwed me on a bet back in like May, and ever since then, I'm like, this guy's on the list. I just don't like him.
He's never been off.
And then the Orioles bats, we know how good they are, and I really think they smash Hunter Brown, and I would lean over in this one too, but the reason I just stuck with the Orioles because these early afternoon games have a tendency to be weird as hell. So yeah, Orioles money line for me.
Yeah, it's Orioles for me. I can't really add much to what Sauce said. I don't mind Hunter Brown. I think he's been pretty consistent. He's had a couple bumps in the road, but he's all right with me. The thing is that Houston has just so much steam. I mean, it's everybody's betting Houston. I understand that some of the numbers not that, but when you look at Twitter and Action and all that stuff, it's all steam and it's all coming in on Houston. So when I woke up this morning, I knew if I saw Baltimore at plus 100, I was going to take it. And look, Dean Kramer has been shaky at times, yeah, but he faced Houston 2 times last year and went, what is that, 16 and 2/3 innings, gave up 8 hits and 1 run in both those performances.
He went 16 and 2/3 in just 2 starts?
Yeah, he went 9 innings in a first. He went 9 innings, 4 hits, no runs in the first inning or on the second time, and then the first time he faced him, he went 7 and 2/3, gave up 4 hits and on 1 run.
Holy shit!
So, yeah, so Dean Kramer is not going to be sitting here terrified of this Astros lineup. So, and Kamish just talked about it. You're not even getting the full lineup. I mean, all the big guys are there, but Yanier Diaz is very good, but he can be had. Singleton is another one who is a career minor leaguer. So I just think that if there's a time to bet Baltimore, it is here today. They got everybody of the big guns rested back in the bullpen. So I'll take my chances fading this team and taking the plus money.
Yeah, I completely agree. Yordan Alvarez and Kyle Tucker always scare me, but Diaz, Singleton, Dubon, Pena, and Myers running out the bottom half of the order is just very weak. And I know Houston scored 7 the other day, but 4 of those came on one of the most impressive at-bats of the whole season, in my opinion, with Kyle Tucker's grand slam in the 9th inning. But they only had 3 runs to that point. Overall, I mean, Houston has been swinging the bats a little bit better, but even since July 25th, the O's are better in OPS, ISO, pretty much across the board. You look at batted ball metrics, the Orioles have been better. So I think they have the better offense here. I think when you look at the starting pitching, Sauce, you mentioned the splits. You look at Kremer against right-handed batters, 381 FIP, 110 WHIP, really healthy 24-5 K to walk rate. It's against lefties. It's at 630 FIP, 291 opponent batting average, 160 WHIP. That's where I would be nervous. So let's walk Yordan Alvarez 4 times today and call it a day. It's pretty much where I'm at here. But I think it makes a ton of sense. I think Baltimore's I understand Houston continues to go to the American League Championship Series, to the World Series year in, year out. It's not the same team this year. They are much less talented than they have been the last 2, 3, 4 years. Baltimore, I firmly believe, is one of the 2 best teams in the American League. I think they get it done today at home.
An Orioles sweep for the show, and the community agrees with us. We got, it looks like 53% of our viewers betting Baltimore, 35% betting Houston, 5% over, 4% under. So we are a Baltimore Orioles program today. All of us on the Orioles, community on the Orioles. Let's go O's.
It's crazy too how many players the Astros have let go and they're still in this spot though. It's absolutely unreal. Do they sign Kyle Tucker?
Systems are outstanding.
Yeah, do they sign Kyle Tucker? That's the question. But yeah, sorry, Sauce.
No, it's all right. I mean, we were just going on to the next game. I mean, we only have 8 games, so this is going to be a quick show anyway. We don't got to... On the Friday ones, we have to rush a little bit because if we start rambling, it could be an hour and a half. On this one, we're gonna brush right through it. This next up, we got Toronto at Cleveland. Man, I don't want to... I'm saying the same thing I said in the first... I don't want to touch this series, man. Toronto looks pretty good, but... Do I really want to take Manoah on the road? It's crazy that Manoah's probably got the starting pitching edge here. Doesn't even make sense. Someone sent me a side bet. One of my friends said Toronto Blue Jays over 1.5 stolen bases is free money because Syndergaard apparently gives up a bunch of steals. I don't bet props like that, but someone did send me that. But
Syndergaard's he's super slow to the plate. A lot of people do that. Anytime that he pitches, they take usually the fastest 3 guys from the other team or whoever steals bags.
I remember they would always talk about that when he was with the Mets. Whenever he was on, whenever he was pitching, they would always talk about giving up stolen bases. So this is a pass for me. I want nothing to do with this series. I guess, gun to my head, I mean, I kind of want to bet Cleveland. Nah, just pass. I don't want to start talking myself into Cleveland. Pass.
Yeah, I don't want to bet Cleveland. It would be Toronto or pass for me. I didn't bet this game yet personally, but it's just one of those things where I don't really think that Manoah is I don't think he's as bad as what everybody thinks.
No, he
I'm
looks
not
okay.
trying to,
He looks okay.
yeah, like I'm not trying to say that he's like going to be some all-star again, but I do think that was mostly a mental situation with him, and sooner or later he probably gets back to maybe not the same level, but very close to what he once was, at least serviceable. And then on the flip side, Syndergaard just really hasn't shown me much at all. He had that one good start somehow, some way against Houston, and then he came right back and got throttled by the White Sox. So it's a lean on Toronto for me, but the fact that I see those pie charts makes me even like Toronto just a little bit more. So probably end up going to go bet this at -130 at a short price.
Yeah, it's looking like there's just a decent amount on the sources that I looked at, a decent amount of sharp action in on Cleveland. So there's some heavy hitters taking Cleveland today. Kamish?
I mean, I think if you're taking Cleveland, you got to expect it to be a low-scoring game because they've scored more than 4 runs once since what day was this? Since July 28th. It's been like almost 2 weeks. They've scored more than 4 runs once. Their team total's at 4.5 today. So I think
Twice.
Wow.
They got on August 6th they scored 13. August 4th they scored 7, and that was about it. So you take out Boston, they can't score.
Okay.
So they're starting to look like the April Cleveland Guardians, honestly.
Well, I can tell you, like, from a local media perspective, they're tanking this season. They don't care about winning the division. They have Ramirez, they have Jimenez, they have all these guys locked up through 2028, through 2029. If they make the playoffs this year, it'd be a nice experience for the young guys. But frankly, every move that they've made shows that they're playing for next year and beyond. I mean, they're trying to play on Manoah's struggles against lefties today. They have 7 lefties in the lineup. But if you look at these lefties, other than Jimenez and Ramirez, I mean, Cole Calhoun hasn't been a regular major leaguer in forever. Will Brennan, very, very hit or miss guy. Bo Naylor, very young, raw. Jose Tena, I mean, I don't even know who that guy is.
Dude, I was just about to say, can you tell me? Because I usually know guys like this, and I've never heard of this guy.
I have no idea. And I think Brian Rocchio batting in the leadoff spot, I think he's in way over his head for someone being so young like that. And I think he's playing out of position at third base as well, which I think a lot of people don't realize how much that affects guys mentally. Because when you're making mistakes in the field, that just has a way of translating or carrying over to what you're doing with the bat. So I think this is a very poor lineup. The Guardians continue to play people out of position. Cole Calhoun, we saw him make 2 mistakes in the 9th inning the other day against the White Sox that would have closed that game out. They ended up losing the game. Yeah, he's at first base again. I just don't see what is appealing in any shape or form with the Cleveland Guardians right now. So I think, Toast, you're on the money line for the Blue Jays. I'm cool with that. The under 4.5 on the team total, whichever way, they're roughly the same juice. Whichever way you want to roll with that, I would support it.
The Toronto team total under 4.5.
I've played this, and just so you guys know how shitty this is, I played Toronto the other night and lost 1-0, and then I played Cleveland last night and lost 1-0. So ridiculous.
That's what I'm saying. This series sucks. So let's see what the poll thinks. As expected, our viewers seem to be on Toronto. 51% of our viewers on the Blue Jays, 19% Guardians, 60. A lot of people bet in the total here, 16% over, 11% under. But that might be because the poll doesn't have a pass button. There probably are just a lot of people just over, under, whatever. Let's get to the next game. So let's get to the next game. Twins at Tigers, man. The Twins, I had a parlay, Twins and Braves yesterday, as you know. Twins messed it up. Twins, Tigers, over, under. What start time is this?
1:10.
1:10.
Yeah. So this is Tigers are pass for me. But the only reason I want to bet the Tigers is because it's a day game, and as these guys both always say, the Twins suck in the day, the Tigers are good in the day. They're in the day. I kind of like Kenta Maeda, but you can make an argument that Reese Olson has nice looking splits against left-handed bats. The Twins, 5 of their first 6 hitters in their order are lefties. So I could see how you could paint the picture for a sharp Tigers bet here. I don't think I'm going to do it. If one of these guys makes a compelling case for Tigers money line, I will tail. But I'm on the edge right now. Like I'll bet Tigers if Toast or Commish talk me into it. But right now I'm probably passing.
I'm not going to play the money line, but I'm going to play the team total of the Tigers over 3.5 at a -110 on even money. This team that continues to score runs have hit this number 7 of their last 10 games. I mean, here's their last 10 games scoring runs: 9, 6, 3, 6, 4, 0, 6, 1, 6, 5. So there's at no point is Detroit really having a problem scoring runs, and they've scored multiple runs in this team. They scored 16 runs or 15 runs against this team in the last couple of days. So has Maeda been really good? Yeah, but Detroit's already seen him once this year already. Maeda went five innings, didn't give up any runs the first time he saw Detroit. But I'll take my chances with this Detroit team with such a low team total at home, with a Twins team that we know that you tends to struggle during the day. But yeah, I'll take my chances at such a low number at 3.5.
Kamish, are you going to talk me into a Tigers bet?
Toast actually just talked me into one. I didn't realize their team total was at 3.5.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, Maeda, he's had a lot of struggle keeping the ball in the yard against right-handed batters. And if you look at the lineup today for Detroit, it looks like there's 6 righties in the lineup, 3.5. I mean, the wind's blowing out pretty strong to left field at Comerica. 3.5. That's, you get one guy on base, you hit a home run, you're halfway there already. It's a day game, so if you let's say Detroit's up 3-1 or something like that late in the game, Minnesota's not going to throw a high leverage arm. I think you might be able to squeak one more across. I'm a big fan of, we've talked about this in the past, I think, Toast, I'm a big fan of betting team totals against like good starting pitchers or guys who look like they're very talented. Spencer Strider's, Maeda's, like all those guys, because you get a really deflated line. And the reality is those guys still give up runs, and then there's still probably 3 or 4 innings from the bullpen. So I think it's a good bet. I'm going to join you on that. I'm going to make it official over 3.5 on the team total here.
You know what? I'm in. Let's make it a birthday. It's my birthday. Let's make it a birthday party bet here. Tigers team total.
All right, so O's money line, Tigers team total over 3.5. We're building the consensus parlay.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yes.
We'll type it out at the end. So O's money line, Tigers team total over 3.5. Our community is on the Twins. 56% of our viewers betting Minnesota, 29% betting the Tigers, 8% over, 5% under.
Well, they could win 5-4. I don't care. Everybody's happy then.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Cardinals at Rays is next. Toast, nice hit yesterday on the Cards. I had Cardinals or pass, and I wanted it. I took Cardinals in game 1, lost, was too nervous to go back to them in game 2 of the series, and I knew it too. Like when I was handicapping the games yesterday, I knew the Cardinals was the play, but I was too much of a coward. I was a coward. Plain and simple. Cardinals, Rays, over, under. Let's run the poll. That being said, where's my Cardinals, Rays notes? Oh, duh. You guys already know what I'm doing in this one. I said in the first game, this is the team I paired with Atlanta in the moneyline parlay. That's at plus 125. So you already know why I'm betting the Braves. But I thought the first 2 spots look good for the Cardinals. I will agree that this price is super inflated for the Rays, but that doesn't change the fact that I think they win this game. I don't care how bad the Rays' recent numbers versus lefties are. I know it doesn't look great. I don't care that the bats as a whole look pretty mediocre and underwhelming recently. I get all that, but nothing in hell can entice me to bet Matt Liberatore on the road at Tropicana Field here. No chance in hell. In his last 9 starts, he's got an ERA at 8, a whip at 1.87, an expected FIP above 6. That's in his last 9 starts. It gets even better. In his 4 road starts this year, he's got an ERA of 11.48, a whip at 2.10. We're in Madison Bumgarner territory, and an expected FIP in the mid 6s. There is nothing on God's green earth could make me bet this guy, Liberatore. So as I don't have a ton of faith in the Rays bats, and like I said, I think this price sucks. I think this is too expensive. Value-wise, maybe the value is on the Cardinals, but I won't do it. I think the Rays win this game. I don't even like Littell that much, even though he's looked all right. I'm just taking the Rays, pairing it with the Braves.
Yeah, see, I like the Rays a lot. I'm just kind of priced out on it. I do think Littell is going to pitch pretty well today. We've seen in his last 2 starts, his last 3 starts, all of them been on the road at Texas, at Houston, at Detroit. He pitched pretty much, essentially really good in all of those. 6 innings in Detroit, no runs. 5 innings in Houston, gave up 8 hits, but only 2 runs. And then 3 1/3 in Houston, only 1 run. So he's pitching really well. Again, I just don't like the price. nice. Liberatore, I mean, I know Sauce went through his numbers, but look at the teams he's facing too. I mean, on the road in Miami, he makes it 1 inning, 1 out, gives up 5.
It was 1 out.
5 hits and 4 runs. On the road at the Mets, it's not like they've been killing the ball late or at all. 4 runs, 5 hits. Or, I'm sorry, 4 runs, 4 hits, 5 runs. On the road at Texas, I mean, he got throttled. I get that. That's fine. But if I had to make a bet, it'd be Rays -1.5. But I don't really know if I trust the Rays that much to score and cover like that. But they seem to be playing a little bit better, 6-4 their last 10. But they're still not a 500 ball game or 500 ball team. 500 baseball team the last 20 or 30 games. So it's really hard for me to lay a run at half.
They're 22-27 in their last 49, I think.
Yeah, so I'm just not there. I lean Rays. I think the Rays end up winning this game. Trust me, if I could get to St. Louis again, I would, but I just can't get there. So it's Rays or pass.
Kamish, you with us on the Rays?
I'm not against you on the money line, but I'm definitely not taking the spread here with how bad they've been against left-handed pitching. You look at since July 15th, sorry, they're 26 in OPS, 22nd in ISO against left-handed pitching. Like you mentioned, Toast, Littell's throwing the ball reasonably well. I think this is kind of ridiculous to see a game total at 9.5 for these two teams. I think especially at the Trop, I think the under here makes a good bit of sense.
Yeah, I could see the under. If I was on the total, I would definitely be on the under with you.
Honestly, I can't remember the last time I saw a 9.5 total at Tropicana Field.
Yeah, that's a good. That's now. Yeah.
Yeah, so under. I could definitely see that with the under. Liberator scares the bejesus out of me though.
And the plus and over 9.5 is plus 100 on some books. Like I swear to, I can't have anything. No numbers
over?
behind
What
it.
the hell is that? Is it
Yeah,
just
so
Liberator?
I swear to God, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, that's weird. I agree.
Well,
Under.
according to the poll, everyone's on Tampa. 79% of our viewers bet in the Rays, 13% Cardinals, 3% over, 3% under. Let's move on to game number 6, which is Nats at Phillies. Let's run a poll. Nats, Phils, over, under. All right, poll is running. I don't even like my bet in this one. It's only a half unit, but I'm sticking with it. I put the ticket out. I placed the bet. I'm on the over here, but like I said, I don't absolutely love it. 1 sec, I'll get my notes up. So over 9. I'm a Pat Corbin guy. I think he's a gamer. I think people get too hung up on his numbers and. Man, he's 7-11. Look at all those decisions. This is a man who gets it done one way or the other. When he
lost 34 games last year, Sauce.
How many?
34.
34.
Kamish, quick question. I don't want to get all into this. If the Nationals were in a playoff series today, who would pitch game 1 and 2? Josiah Gray 1, Patrick Corbin 2.
No, I think I'd rather pitch Josiah Gray on 0 days rest in game 2 than go Corbin.
But the question is, would Mackenzie Gore start game 2 over Patrick Corbin?
That's where our argument was.
No, I think you'd go to a veteran, especially because you're going to have 3 games no matter what. I think you're going to go Corbin, and then you're going to go back to the young guy.
That's what I said. Prop Beaver's wrong.
I agreed with you.
You were on my side. All right, anyway, the reason I'm on the over here, believe it or not, first of all, Patrick Corbin's actually hasn't been that bad on the road recently. Since July 1st, he's made 3 road starts against the Mets, the Reds, and the Cubs. He's got a 5.19 ERA, so that's not great in those road starts. But he's got a 104 whip and a 433 expected FIP. So he's had 3 formidable road starts in a row. Here's the bad news. The Phillies have absolutely murdered this guy. Like, Patrick Corbin wakes up in the middle of the night screaming at the sight of the Phillies logo. They slaughter this guy. In his last 7 starts against the Phillies, he's 0-6 with a 9.46 ERA, a 2.16 whip in those 7 starts. So the Phillies have murdered Corbin. He just never beats this team. I would actually be curious the last time Patrick Corbin's team won a game in a start against the Philadelphia Phillies, because it's probably been a long time. He just never beats them. So there's no way I can get there with a plus money play on the Nats. Now, if you're wondering why I'm not playing Phillies -1.5 after I said that, I hate, if you watch me on YouTube, you know, I hate backing Aaron Nola in these spots. when he's heavily favored, he chokes. I like backing Aaron Nola on the road in Dodger Stadium when the Phillies are plus 135. That's when I'll back Aaron Nola. But at home or just heavily favored, I mean, we just saw it happen. What happened in Aaron Nola's last 2 starts? He lost to the Royals. Before that, he lost to the Pirates. Both games, the Phillies were heavily favored, and I just hate backing Aaron Nola as a heavy favorite because I feel like he always underperforms. He plays down to his opponents or plays up to his opponents. I don't know if that's factually true. This for my betting purposes, that's what always happens when I bet Aaron Nola. So I think the Nats score a couple runs on him. So I'll take the over at 9. And do I have to mention the Washington Nationals bullpen is absolute piss? So yeah, over 9.
Yeah, I'm actually on the same thing. I picked the over as well, and I really can't even add anything to it. The fact that Corbin has been getting throttled on top of the fact that Nola, if you take a look at his game logs, it's not like he's blanking teams. I mean, 5 runs to the Royals, 7 runs to the Pittsburgh Pirates, 3 runs to the Cleveland, 3 runs to Milwaukee, 5 runs in Miami, 4 runs against the Cubs. On the road to Tampa, he pitched well. So it's not like Aaron Nola is just shutting guys down. So not to mention Washington has seen him, 5 times in the last couple of years. I understand there's not the same guys, but there's not a scare factor there. It's just one of those things where I just feel like we see runs here. It's decent weather today. Guys like Lane Thomas and stuff like that are more than capable. Dom Smith more than capable of getting jobs done. So I wouldn't be surprised if Gilbert Parise put one in the seats tonight. But yeah, decent weather. I'm playing the over as well.
Kamish?
Yeah, Phillies since July 15th, 6th in OPS against left-handed pitching. I think Patrick Corbin gives up 9 by himself here today. Now, in reality, I think it's a good matchup. I think both offenses do just enough. The Nationals being a relatively high-contact lineup and you're facing a Philly defense that can be suspect at times gives you a good opportunity to have some good fortune on balls in play. I'll just put it that way. And I think that's a really underrated aspect of betting totals in Major League Baseball. So I could see Washington putting a few, even if Nola pitches really well, he could go 7 innings, probably gives up 3 runs. I think if you trust Philly to get to 5 in this spot, 5-6 runs, I think there's a good path to the over.
Is that another sweep? Wow. We have 3 for our consensus parlay that we'll put up at the end. So over 9 across the board. Wow. Our community heavy on the Phillies. And guys, by the way, if I had to bet a side, it probably would be Phillies minus 1.5. So I don't disagree with you there. 63% of our viewers betting the Phillies, 17% Nationals, 12% over, 6% under. Someone just said, yeah, Kyle Schwarber's a liability in left field. That is the understatement of the century.
Oh my God.
You know how many, we've had countless laughs in the office with the Phillies game on. Watching him drop routine fly balls is, it's some of the best comedy out there.
It's insane, man.
It's like, how is he still out there? There was one stretch, I want to say about a month ago, 5 weeks ago maybe, where Kyle Schwarber dropped 3 routine fly balls in 5 days. So in 5 games, he dropped 3 routine fly balls.
Dude, I'll tell you what, the worst defense that I've seen this month was this Giants-Angels series the last couple of days. If you guys have been able to catch any of those games.
I've seen a bunch of it, yeah.
AJ Pollock falling over his own feet in right field. Luis Matos dropped a ball 3 times on the same play.
I saw that, yeah.
The infield defense atrocious. Estrada had a routine ground ball to second base, and the announcer's like, "Oh, casual looking ground ball to second base." Oh, and he throws it away. It's crazy. The craziest defensive miscues I've seen, just one after another in that series. Which those games went over for the most part. So I think
the one went over late though. It was because I had the under, and it was 1-0 in the 6th, and then it was final score 7-4 or something.
But it was the defense. It wasn't necessarily that the pitchers were getting lit up. A lot of it was defensive miscues late in those games.
Yeah, that reminds me of, speaking of Angels defense, you remember when the shortstop was just lightly jogging to the ball and he got benched because the guy was rounding? That was hilarious. But anyway, Royals at Red Sox. So no one won this one yesterday because Jay had Red Sox minus 1.5 and I had Royals money line, and we were talking shit back and forth. And Toast, you had Boston money line on a parlay, but that parlay didn't hit anyway. So none of us,
because the Twins suck.
This is a straight up pass for me. The Royals bats are too dangerous to try to like zero in on a Paxton bet, maybe a first 5-run line or something. The Royals bats are too dangerous, and the Royals bats have done it against righties and lefties. There's really no pattern. They just explode recently. It's just a pass for me. I would like to try to sneakily back Paxton, but I can't.
Yeah, it's a pass for me as well. I'm going to try to find, I haven't looked at his slits, but like MJ Melendez has been really hitting the ball well for Kansas City, as well as Bobby Witt Jr. So I'm going to try to look at a couple of those guys, maybe some hitter props here, but yeah, it's a big fat pass for me as well. I don't want to get anywhere involved with the side or total in this game.
Kamish, you placing a bet in this one?
No, it's a pass. I've talked about it on the show before. When there's a lot of day games, I like to see how my afternoon action does before locking in ambiguous stuff for the evening. This is a spot that I might revisit if I have a really good afternoon, but right now there's nothing that's really jumping at me.
Absolutely, I agree. It's tough. That's why on Wednesdays sometimes we do 11 a.m. and then we come back at 4 to talk about the night games, because it's really hard to tell, like, to say just decisively when I'm going to be betting at 6:45 p.m. You know what I mean? That's 7 hours from now. But yeah, I agree with you. I'm the same way. But all right, let's see what the poll did. And obviously, people bet at the Red Sox. 55% Boston, 26% Kansas City, 12% over, 5% under. So let's go on to the 8th and final game. Rockies at Dodgers. Kershaw is pitching, by the way. I don't know if you saw, Toast. You might have been sleeping. So it was Kershaw, but then Action Network and RotoWire, I think it was, took Kershaw down as a starting pitcher for a few hours, but it's back again. So it is Kershaw, I think. It would make sense for this line too. This is a simple one for me. Rockies plus 2.5. Just because anytime you could get an MLB team at plus 2.5 at -110, I feel like you should take it to -110.
I feel like you should take 10 minutes and find out how many times you've bet plus 2.5, 3.5, 4.5. And I would bet out of 10, you've probably hit 1 or 2. I'm just saying, I'd make that bet.
I've only done it once this year and it did lose.
There's no way I can bet this game. I'm way priced out of the Dodgers. It'd be over or pass for me. Kershaw hasn't pitched in a while. Again, I expect him to pitch fine. I don't know how long he's going to go. And then you got to worry about the Dodgers bullpen. Again, I'm not really super worried about the Rockies bats in general. But they are coming off of scoring 13 runs their last couple games. So, they also have a 9 spot in there randomly against St. Louis. So, it's capable, but, I'm not really there. So it's over or pass, but I highly doubt I'm going to mention or bet this game.
Dodgers in a flat spot, man. Coming home from a road trip, only 2 runs.
See, and I don't believe that because I don't feel like the Dodgers can play flat spot baseball right now with the race that they're kind of in right now. But
Rockies are in a race too.
Yeah, race to see who's golfing first.
Kamish, you betting this one?
No, not right now. Kershaw didn't make a rehab start. I've been following the beat writers. It's been very up and down with regard to getting Kershaw back on the field, and I think he'll be fine. Like, I think he's going to be healthy here September, October for the postseason, but I could see them handling him with extreme kid gloves in this spot and him going 3 innings, which I don't think is necessarily baked into the line. So I would want to bet the Dodgers, but I think when Kershaw's on the mound, you're paying a Kershaw tax on top of a Dodgers tax. And today they're playing the Rockies, so you're paying a Rockies shitty tax as well. So you're paying 3 sets of taxes here pre-game, where if Kershaw's pulled after like the 3rd inning, let's say it's 1-0 Dodgers, or let's say it's 1-0 Rockies maybe by chance, I think that's a better spot to try to hop on LA than this ridiculous price pre-game. So maybe plus 2.5. Honestly, like plus 2.5 Rockies pre-game, Dodgers money line at some point.
I get it. Yeah.
What could go wrong?
I can feel
and
that.
The Dodgers aren't going to have Evan Phillips today. He's worked back-to-back nights, so that's a positive for your Rockies bet as well.
I wanted to take the Rockies money line. I couldn't do it. And I got a few of those.
I will say, so I do think there's something to be said with not so much that the travel, because they're coming back from Arizona, but Toast just mentioned the bullpen usage. Last night, honestly, even the night before, they were both kind of emotional wins, because the night before that, Corbin Carroll didn't run out that ground ball, and that double play into the game. That was kind of a stress relief win for them. They were up 5-2 going into the 9th, gave up a couple of runs that looked a little dicey. And then last night, nothing. Dave Roberts left David Peralta in, and he had that big hit against the lefty out of the bullpen. So I think, like, when you have big emotional wins like that, especially against interdivision opponents, you go way up emotionally, and now you got to go face a really shitty Rockies team. I just think it's hard to get up for a game like that. So I could see this being like an under type of game, which certainly favors the Rockies plus 2.5. Or I could see this just being a throwaway game for the Dodgers, and somehow they lose to the Rockies in this spot.
I couldn't agree more. The Dodgers just had 6 games in a row, 4-game series in San Diego, then 2 in Arizona. That was like, that whole shit was circled. Now, they did well. They pulled out 2 emotional wins in Arizona, big ones, and then they come back home to play the Rockies. Kershaw making his first start, I just think it smells like a flat spot to me.
Yeah, but Colorado's also coming from the West Coast too. I mean, coming from St. Louis and Milwaukee and coming through.
But you know what, though? You know what? Colorado isn't going to have Milwaukee circled. They're going to have the Dodgers circled. I mean, it's Colorado. Who cares who they have circled?
I get that, but at the same time, if we're talking
Colorado's
about
circling golf courses, man, they don't care about baseball.
I'm not trying to make a case. I'm just saying that there's other things to be said about the Rockies in their spot too. So, I mean, if you look at the last 10 games these teams have played, there's only been 2 games in the last 10 decided by 3 runs or more. So you're either going to cover easy sauce, or you're going to be not. It's not even going to be close.
Yeah, we'll see. Let's see what the poll thinks. 64% of our viewers betting the Dodgers, 19% Rockies, 11% over, 3% under. All right. So, let's you know what? Let's do the underdog. Did Prop Beavers hit? Yeah, last night I forgot to check.
Nah, I don't think so. One of them missed because I had him in mine, I think.
Jordan out. Which one of these missed?
Clevenger
didn't hit the strikeouts. All right, so that's yesterday's Prop Beavers miss. This one is not from Prop Beaver. This one is from yours truly, and it's just a 3-pick, and it is Bryce Elder higher than 25.5 fantasy points. They didn't have the earned runs. I wanted to take under earned runs, but I've higher than 25.5 fantasy points. Dean Kramer lower than 3 earned runs. Matthew Liberatore higher than 3 earned runs. That's a 3-pick, so it pays out 6 times. If you don't have Underdog, it's available in any of the states highlighted in orange here. Go to Underdog Fantasy, the website, or download the app. Use the promo code BET, B-E-T, when you make your account. You'll get a free $100 deposit bonus match. So, let's put our consensus parlay up there on the board. We had 3. It was, I know it was Detroit team total over. It was
Orioles
the over
money
9.
line.
Over 9. And what was the other one? Orioles
money line.
All right, so this is the consensus parlay, we're calling it. These are the 3 games that we swept on. And I'm going to bet this, and I'll tweet out a screenshot of it to show I really am going to bet it. It's our consensus parlay. Now, let's run the community parlay real quick, because that needs a hit bad. This one, community is so cold, man. Maybe today is the day. Let's get a couple community parlay hits heading into football season. That'd be nice to bring some positive momentum into the fall. All right, so Braves at Pirates. That's Braves. Astros, Orioles. I think the crowd was on the Orioles with us. Blue Jays.
I think so too.
Twins, Tigers was Twins. All right. First leg of the parlay is up. Cast your votes. No one's voting for Blue Jays or Twins. Every single vote has come in on Braves or Orioles. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and poll. Braves win. The Braves are always in the community parlay, and they always spoil it. Braves money line, first leg. So next up we have Rays money line. Whoops, sorry. Rays, Phillies, Red Sox, and Rockies Dodgers was obviously Dodgers. All right, second leg.
So Kamish, I was just gonna say, because obviously you're pretty well respected. Am I crazy for not thinking the Braves are that good?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, you are.
Just curious. Just wanted to see who
why,
I.
why do you not think the Braves are that good?
Why?
Yeah.
Because well, first of all, they rely on the long ball. They have average started pitching and an average bullpen, and that shit don't play in October. So I will be taking all the action against the Braves as much as possible.
So
I mean, I don't like
the
their
reason I would
bullpen
disagree
either.
with that is, so I think bat speed wise, I think the Braves have the best bat speed in baseball, hands down. So I think the long ball effect, I think that does play in October. Teams that win championships usually hit a lot of home runs, and I know this more so because the Guardians never hit home runs in October, and we never advance in the playoffs. But the long ball, I think, will play.
Hit home runs, yeah.
Yeah. So, I think honestly, they're not a Yankees home run or bust team. I think that plays less well in October than the Braves don't strike out nearly as much as past Yankees teams have. I think the biggest concern that I would have for the Braves is that starting pitching. You have Max Fried. Hopefully he'll be healthy. I don't know what you have after that. I know everybody's in love with Spencer Strider and the strikeouts.
You cannot count on him right now.
No,
There's no way I'll let anybody say that.
No, I think so too. And I think people don't realize how different playoff baseball is than regular season baseball. When you have 3, 4, 5 days to prepare for Spencer Strider, and it's all about preparing for the Atlanta Braves, the guy's got a fastball, he's got a slider. He doesn't have 80 grade command.
Preach.
It worries me. They don't have Kyle Wright is someone who I was very big on coming into the season. He hasn't been healthy. I don't think you can trust guys like Charlie Morton. The starting pitching for me is the biggest concern. I think they're going to score runs. I do like,
and then
Brian
you can
Smith
add on the
bullpen.
fact that, do you really trust in Raciel Iglesias to be closing games for you in game 6 or 7 of the ALCS or NLCS? No. I mean, maybe you do.
No, and I think the other thing with the Braves bullpen is the year they won the World Series, Snicker abused Will Smith, Tyler Matzik. I forget the other guy they had that year, but I mean, dude, I think they used them in like all but 2 playoff games that year. And all of those guys had their careers run into the ground after that for the most part. Then they tried it again last year, just didn't work. Like you can't turn your bullpen in the 5th or 6th inning in every single playoff game year over year. They got away with it for 1 year, but then all those guys had their arms fall off, and I think they're still dealing with the after effects of that. Now they have a couple of new arms, obviously, but I think Snicker's proclivity to overuse the bullpen is going to catch up with them. They're going to have to score a lot of runs. I think the one thing that does benefit them is if it's not the Braves or the Dodgers, and the Dodgers I think are equally flawed in a lot of ways, who is it in the National League? So I think that's where like I'm not too pessimistic on the Braves. I really think the National League is wide open. I wouldn't pay like plus 180 on the Braves or the Dodgers right now. I would definitely rather have a long shot ticket on the Giants. Not the Giants. The Giants don't play any defense. I can't get behind the Giants this year, but I would pick another National League team.
I could see like the Phillies annoyingly getting hot again. But anyway, community parlay's done. And it's Braves, Rays, Phillies, Dodgers for plus 304. This is by far the lowest paying community parlay. But you know what? Maybe that's what we needed. Maybe we needed a super square one with heavy favorites. In my experience, the heavy favorites, usually 1 or 2 goes down on the getaway day like Thursday or Sunday. But hey, let's get ourselves a W here. I'm going to be playing both these parlays, the consensus parlay and the community parlay. Thanks everyone for watching. Kamish, thanks for joining us.
Real quick, can I ask one question?
Yeah.
I'm curious your guys' thoughts. I know we do the community parlay on here. I know we did the consensus parlay today, but as a general rule, do you guys parlay a lot? Do you have thoughts on parlays?
No. Almost never.
Almost never. I mean, not to spoil, I've never played the community parlay once. Kyle does, and he's amazing for that, but I don't. I mean, it really takes a lot for me to parlay.
No, the parlays, I put them down sometimes, but like they're mathematically not the correct way to bet. It's just it's kind of, they're fun. I like to gamble and it's fun. It's kind of like, hey, I know alcohol's bad for you, but you know what? I have some drinks sometimes too. Like parlays mathematically are not smart, but they're fun.
I'm a hit parlay slut. I love me some hit parlays.
The hit
most of the math shows that in 99% of the circumstances, you'll be up money playing every single leg of the parlay individually long term than if you parlayed them. But everyone wants to make the money now, right? They want to hit big tonight, which is exactly how the sports books want you to bet. But yeah,
I was curious.
Yeah, no, I actually have a video up on YouTube. It's called Why Parlays Are Bad Bets or something. And I break down the math on simple parlays. If you're parlaying like 3 football teams together, of how every single leg you add to the parlay, you're losing value on your bet, just based on implied probability and if you put 3 football teams together on the point spread, right? Like it has this % chance of hitting, so it should pay you this. But every single leg you add, it gets farther away from your payout, gets farther away from what the implied probability says your payout should be. So every single leg you add, you're actually taking away value. And that's pretty universally true when you're building parlays. That being said, I play some, they're fun, but like you'll never catch me saying like parlays are smart, because they're not.
Yeah, no, that's super interesting. I was curious your guys' thoughts, because I've always been extremely anti-parlay, and it's frustrating for me. Like, as someone who gives out picks, if I give you 4 picks and we go 3-1, but you parlayed them and you ended up losing money on the day, like, that frustrates me. But Roto Grinders had me start doing a same game parlay every single day for an article piece. So it's the first time that I've ever consistently done them or tracked them, and it's super, super low investment. I always tell people in the article, like, I would rather you play these individually. I even track the individual record so people can see how that record compares to whether or not the parlays win. And we've been profitable on the parlays, but the individual legs within the parlays, like you said, Sauce, if you played every single one of those tickets individually, up a crazy amount.
Exactly.
And you're only up a little bit on the parlays.
That's
like
pretty...
we've been profitable, but it's like if you played every single individual leg, you are up so much more money than you are if you play the parlay tickets.
Absolutely. That's pretty universally true when you come to parlays. Even if someone's up, I know some people that do pretty well placing parlays, but that doesn't take away from the fact that they would be up more if they played every single leg individually. That's what the math shows.
I also read your stuff, and I also think that you are a little bit better, more suited to do a same game parlay with how deep you go into things. So I think your correlation and stuff are a little bit more as far as me and Sauce, and we're going through 15 games. So you know what I mean? Like, I think I would trust your parlays and your same games a little bit more, but yeah, I see you. I mean, yeah, I've seen you're on a little bit of a roll too there, brother.
Yeah. I will never post anything that is shorter than plus 700, because if I'm going to put together a parlay, it's got to be worth got to be worth the risk, right? Like, I'm not going to sweat out a plus 250 with 3 legs.
Yeah.
But it's been fun. It's been a good run lately. I'm 23-4 my last 27 bets that I've posted.
Nicely done.
It's been fun. The parlays have been hitting. We've hit 3 in the last 6 days now, plus 700 or longer. So
that's dope.
It's been fun. Baseball's fun, man. Football's fun too. I like baseball and football. Those 2 seasons, I think, are just like, for people who are very serious about betting, I think it's a fun time to be in the community.
Absolutely. So that's Commission's Twitter, by the way, right under his name, in case you don't already follow him on Twitter. If you want to go look at his stuff, you'll find it right there. Everyone, have a good Thursday. I'm going to enjoy my birthday. We'll be back tomorrow, 4 p.m. Who's coming? Lord BLT from Gold Boys is coming. It'll be me toasting him tomorrow, 4 p.m. So let's have ourselves a nice little Thursday. Everyone enjoy your day. Remember to bet responsibly, and we'll talk to you soon.
Good seeing you guys.
You too, brother. Take care of yourself.
Yep. See ya.